What up, Cooks? It's your boy, the Hater, and we're going to do a lot of videos today because there's a lot of things happening. Number one, I wanted to take a quick moment to do a quick Smackdown review because I completely forgot about Smackdown last night, but luckily I DVR everything. So I went and watched it, so here's the review. Sorry, it's a day late. Let's get to it. There's one thing particularly that I want to talk about, but let's go through the whole show really quick to get to that point. First up, Nia Jax holds a coronation ceremony type thing, right? I actually like this because I think Nia Jax and her attitude is conducive to being a good Queen of the Ring. Now, the one thing that we haven't seen with the Queen of the Ring, that we have seen with King of the Ring, is the Queen of the Ring actually getting some exposure, getting a push, and acting like a queen. Zelina Vega, I know some people like her, but I don't know why she's there. She hasn't done anything. Like, they just give her money to do nothing, right? She's like on the level of like Andrade and fucking Aleister Black and Apollo Crews and all these people that are just there and there's no reason for them to be getting a paycheck. So hopefully Nia Jax can do something with it. I personally think this was a right decision. Nia Jax basically says she's coming for the title. Bayley comes out, she gets attacked, and Doudrop is basically the next number one contender. I guess from now until SummerSlam, Doudrop's going to get a shot at some point, right? Next up, we have Tommaso Ciampa versus Austin Theory. This was horrible, right? I hate this. Grayson Waller, in my opinion, is one of the worst wrestlers of all time. I don't see it at all. This guy's like 34 years old. He's never going to make it. It's never going to happen, motherfuckers. If you couldn't get it done with Bobby Roode, you're not getting it done with Grayson Waller. This guy's got Justin Gabriel, whatever, the South African guy. He's got that guy. I think it was Justin Gabriel, right? He's got Justin Gabriel. If it's Jason Gabriel and I'm forgetting, fuck it. He's Justin Gabriel now. He's got Justin Gabriel written all over him. Nobody cares. The match ends when Grayson Waller is unnecessarily talking shit about his partner, right? Both of them are like not getting anything out of being in this tag team. Austin Theory's like, yo, why are you talking shit? Dropkick and roll up by Tommaso Ciampa. And Tommaso Ciampa has beaten the guy that beat John Cena at WrestleMania. How far the mighty have fallen. Austin Theory was out there beating Cena at WrestleMania. Let me repeat. He was beating Cena at WrestleMania, and now he's getting pinned by Tommaso Ciampa, an NXT jobber. So this was a complete disaster, and I don't care about it at all. Speaking of complete disasters and boring-ass motherfucks, we had a match between Andrade and Apollo Crews. Now, I remember Apollo Crews' first match ever in NXT. I'm pretty sure he beat Andrade, or it wasn't the other way around. I'm pretty sure he beat Andrade in his debut match. And that's how quickly the tables turn. Several years later, they're still doing the same thing, wrestling each other, but now the other guy's the winner. This was horrible. I didn't like it at all, and quite frankly, there's something wrong with this because, in my opinion, it's like if you look at Andrade, you look at Apollo Crews, like it's clear that Apollo Crews is better. He's more athletic, he's stronger, and he looks to be in better shape, right? Andrade is actually getting a little fat, to the point where Corey Graves had to say he's put on a lot of muscle mass. No, he hasn't. He's just fat. Right? And during the whole match, if you listen to the commentary, you would think that Andrade is the jobber and Apollo Crews is the main eventer because the way they're talking about it is like, oh, well, you know, Apollo Crews can do it all and nobody's saying anything good about Andrade. So anyways, whatever, Andrade wins with that twisting butterfly suplex thing he does. It is what it is. Paul Heyman comes out and he basically tells Kevin Owens to back off, right? Kevin Owens cuts a pretty impassionate promo, but it's like, I don't care. Kevin Owens is boring. But he basically says, I'm going to fight you all anyway. I'm going to fight. Whatever, good for him. Then we got the Bloodline versus the Street Profits, which in my opinion completes the cycle of the Street Profits being complete jobbers, right? Remember, motherfucks, like 2 years ago at this point, where everyone thought that Montez Ford was going to get this huge singles push and become a world champion? I had to fight people off in the comment section of my videos being like, you don't know anything, you don't see why Montez is good. The same people probably that said that I don't see why Karrion Kross is good, but once again, I'm right, and those people are completely wrong. Montez Ford sucks. I will say he did look big, right? This really goes to show how small these other guys are, because he was as big as Camacho, and Camacho's supposed to be like 6'3", I think. So, whatever, it doesn't matter. The one thing that I did like about this was the ending of the match. The ending of the match was pretty nice, because basically there's a blind tag, and the Street Profits are so dumb that they don't see it. Long story short, Angelo Dawkins tags in Montez after doing a spine buster, and then he rolls out of the ring. For some reason, he can't stand up anymore. Montez does the frog splash on Camacho, And then as he gets up, fucking Tama Tonga hits like a jumping flatliner. He hits the little Jimmy on him and pins him, right? The only thing that was good was the finish. What else we got here? Chelsea Green and Piper Niven beat Bayley and Naomi. Who cares? And we've got the final segment, which is all that I wanted to talk about, really, right? Now, this was, in my opinion, a 0 out of 10, right? A 0 out of 10. To me, this is one of the worst segments of all time. I'm not even joking. I think it's just fucking atrocious how they did it. Now, I will say this. AJ Styles, proves once again that he's pretty good on the mic. But everything in this was just really stupid. Number one, obviously they were going off the Mark Henry thing, right? Where Mark Henry pretends to, retire and then hits the world's strongest slam on John Cena. Now, here's where the mistake already is made, right? It's one thing for Mark Henry to do this, and it's another thing for AJ Styles to do this, right? Mark Henry at that time, right, had just peaked, right? Like a few years before that, he was in the main event basically, and he had his title run, right? So like his career was over. Another thing, Mark Henry was like a little bit older, I think. But even if they were the same age, it doesn't really matter. Mark Henry was a WWE guy for like 20 years, right? And because he's kind of a jobber, like most of his career, right? He deserves that kind of send-off. He's not going to get the in-ring send-off that Undertaker or Ric Flair are going to get, but he's going to get like a decent little send-off. Or, actually he ended up getting nothing because he went to AEW, but nevertheless. The point being, motherfuckers, that Mark Henry retiring is a bigger deal than AJ Styles retiring because Mark Henry is a WWE guy through and through, right? Again, John Cena is also a much bigger star than Cody Rhodes. So Mark Henry wanting to celebrate with John Cena makes a lot of sense because John Cena was the guy, right? Like if AJ Styles was going to fake out retirement and he wanted to celebrate with Roman Reigns, that would be okay. But wanting to celebrate with Damian Priest, for example, would be fucking retarded, right? So that's really dumb. Two, it's obviously worse than the first one because it's a ripoff of the first one. Three, it's less believable that AJ Styles is all of a sudden retiring because AJ Styles just had a feud with Cody Rhodes. So that's really stupid as well, right? This should have been the beginning of their feud, not like the middle, And also, AJ Styles basically says that if he wants another shot, he has to go to the back of the line, according to Nick Aldis, right? And basically, long story short, he doesn't want to do that because he doesn't think he's got enough time on his hands, on his career, whatever, blah, 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 blah. So I guess everything that Nick Aldis said is meaningless because now it's going to be AJ Styles versus Cucky Rhodes anyways. So there you have it. Nick Aldis is a douche. I don't want to say the worst because all of this was pretty bad, but probably the worst thing about this segment is just the sheer unbelievability of it. And once again, Cody Rhodes comes out looking like a fucking idiot, right? Like this is the most obvious ambush in the history of ambushes. AJ Styles just had a feud with him. He just pushed him to the limit. He just had one of the best matches of his career, as he said. So it doesn't make any sense for AJ Styles to betray Cody when they were enemies last week. But the worst part of this, and that makes it completely unbelievable, is AJ Styles, motherfucks, just got a new entrance theme song, right? Now think about it. From the perspective of kayfabe, do you think WWE is going to commission some new group or whatever to write a new song and invent a new entrance for AJ Styles if he's going to stick around only for a few more months? The answer is, of course not, motherfucks. Of course not. And that's the biggest problem that we have here. The sheer unbelievability, of AJ Styles retiring, given the circumstances, are what makes it almost impossible to believe, right? It's so ridiculous that AJ Styles would retire under these circumstances, but let's be real, right? If he's going to retire, number one, he wouldn't retire this way. Number two, he's wearing a goofy suit just like Mark Henry. And number three, he just participated in the WWE draft and he just got a new theme song. So if he was going to retire, they'd be like, oh, we're not going to do like a new theme song for you, kid, if you're contemplating retirement, right? So there you have it. It's as simple as that. Anybody should have seen this coming, and that's why it was the worst segment of all time, right? It also shows that the WWE is stale and running low on ideas. And with that being said, cock sucks. That's been the video for today. Hater out, motherfucks.